Hi, everybody. It's the top of the hour. It's exactly 3 p.m. EST and 7 p.m. GMT. So, my name is Dr. Richlove Mbro, and today I'll be your host. And I'm going to be talking a lot about F1 visa interviews. So, the questions and the answers that you would need for the interviews. And I have my guest with me. He's going to be Joshua. Joshua is going to join us soon. So if you are in the comment section below, I see Kwejoke. Hi, I'm going to be mentioning your names while we wait for others to join. While we are waiting for our guest. Hello, Kwejoke. Don't forget to leave your questions in the comment section below, okay? This is my first live, and Kwejoke, I'm privileged to have you as my first viewer on my first live. So I'm going to give you something special for this, okay? Yeah, so if you don't know me, my name is Dr. Richlove, and this is my YouTube channel. On this channel, I talk about study abroad and some entertainment. I have been pretty low on the entertainment, but trust me, it's going to come. Hi, Excel. Amy, I'm so happy you're here. We have 4 people now. We're just going to give about 3 to 4 minutes and wait for people to come in. So this is my first live, like I said. So don't just hesitate to give me any feedback, technical, what have you. Just let me know, and I'm willing to improve and then make it better, okay? So we have 5 people. We are streaming live today. As the title said, we are going to be talking about the F1 questions, the F1 visa interview questions and answers, okay? The F1 visa process can be a very daunting one. I have been there. Your host for today, your guest for today has also been there. And then that is why we put our experiences together to come talk to you about it, okay? So before we get into it, like I said, my name is Dr. Richlove Mbro. I have a master's degree in global health policy and management. And I'm currently working with a very huge NGO. And then we promote health systems. And then we do a lot of health work in middle to low income countries, and that is where I am currently doing my work. Okay, so we are going to start. It's 3-2. Those of you who are on, we have 6 people. That's a very good number for my first live to start. I don't want to waste your time. This is going to be on YouTube, so anytime you have time, if you have to skip in, like go in and out, you can come continue, watch it anywhere that you want to watch it. Okay, so I've introduced myself. I'm waiting for my guest speaker. Unfortunately, he's not here yet, but we are going to just wait and see when he comes in. I'm going to let him in, but I'm going to start anyway. Like I said, I'm not going to waste your time. Now, I have told you my name. I've told you my school. You can tell me your name in the comment section below. Let me know who you are. Let me know where you're watching me from. If you want to, just put it there. And before we even get into it, I just want to let you know that no matter what you're doing, this is a very big step. And no matter what you face during your interview, no matter how much money you've invested into this study abroad process, trust me, you are going to get it back. You're going to reap it. Just keep being determined. Okay, it needs a lot of determination, because you would need that same determination when you get here. Those people who are here, those people who have been here for a while, they are going to bear with me and know that that is how it is. You need a determination. So go, 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 go. Anyway, now to introduce the whole thing, I just want you to know that no visa consulate, no consulate officer has set out to not give you the visa, okay? So you have to put yourself up and prove to yourself beyond measurable doubt that you are going to, you're actually going to go to school, you're actually going to study, and then you're actually going to come back to your country to actually impact. So before I even get into the details of the questions and the answers, number one, I just want to give you some statistics for you to know that visas are being issued, okay? So just in 2023 alone, the United States of America issued about 698,773 non-immigrant visas. Out of this, 445,500 418 were F1 visas. Okay. Now, I even went down the line to actually find how many were from Ghana. Now, if you want me to find the statistics from other countries, you can let me know as well. Okay. So from Ghana alone, they issued 445,000. From Ghana alone, they issued 5,067 F1 visas, which, according to the US website, Department of State website, is a 52.1% increase from the visas that they were issuing. So it means they are even increasing more visas. So tell me why you wouldn't position yourself to be able to receive this visa. Okay. Now, let's go on. These are some tips I'm going to give you. You have to be very confident. And then when you go, you need to maintain an eye contact. When you're talking to somebody and you even maintain an eye contact, it shows some level of confidence. It shows some level of trust. And then you really need to dress up properly. Be appropriate, okay? Dress up appropriately and show up like a student. If you want to wear suit, hula, wear it. But you can wear some good, nice long sleeves and a pair of pants, and then you are good to go, okay? If you want to wear a tie, yes, do it. Just wear a tie. For the ladies, you can wear a very decent dress, okay? Very nice dress. You can wear, a top and a skirt, what have you, to just dress your part, okay? All right. So let's continue this. And so you need to dress professionally, like I said. Now, I also want to add to the fact that they don't know all the schools and the courses, okay? They are human beings. Come on. How many schools in the United States of America? They don't know all the schools. They don't know all the courses. So it's your duty to go there and say that this is the school I'm going to. This is the course I want to pursue. Please give me this visa, or give me this visa. Let me go and pursue my master's degree, okay? So that's about it for the introduction. And so we are going to start to get into the beef. So we are still waiting for our guest. Let me see if he's not facing any challenges. Okay, so he said he's going to join us very soon. So I'm going to start without him anyways, not to waste your time. And then when he joins, we can just do a little recap and then he can add what he wants to add, okay? So I just want to tell you that I have grouped these questions into 4 main parts, okay? So once you are organized, I've noticed that even in every aspect of life, once you are very, very organized, you are able to organize your thoughts. Yes, exactly. Let me put it that way. You're able to organize your thoughts. So the first part is academics. Then the second part is finances. And the third part is home ties. And then the 4, I have labeled it others. So 4 main aspects: academics, finances, home ties, and then others. Now, what do I mean by academics? Anything that's related to the school, the course, whether you wrote any exams to apply, whether you wrote any GRE, those kind of things. We are going to go into the nitty-gritties of the individual questions, okay? Now, the next is also the finances. Finances is everything about money. Did you get scholarship? If you didn't get scholarship, how are you going to, fend for your deficit? Do you have student loans? How do you intend to pay those student loans? We are going to go into the nitty-gritty of those questions as well. And as I am talking, if you don't want to, go back and watch this video, you can be taking pointers, okay? Sometimes you may think you don't need it now, but you may eventually need it. So long as you ever have a study abroad, thing in your head, because sometimes it even cuts across like most of the countries, okay? Now, the next group is the home ties group. And then this home ties group is about whether you're going to come back. Like I said, your F1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. That is not the visa category that is meant for you to come and stay here, okay? So put that at the back of your mind and act accordingly. So that is home ties. That's got to do with what job you're doing, whether you're married, and stuff like that, okay? Then the next one is the others. the other category. That is any other question that does not fall into any of these three categories. That is what is going to fall in the others category. So we have more people. We have 11 people now. So what I said earlier was you can drop your name, where you're watching me from, if you want to state where you're watching me from, but just drop your name and let me know that you are here. If you have any questions, you can actually put it in the comment section below. I'm going to see it. I'm going to read it, and then we are going to answer it. We are still waiting for our guest speaker. He's going to join us soon. But like I said, let's get the ball rolling. Okay, so let's start with number one. I think number one is very, very important. So under academics, the first question that I have is, why the school? Okay, now you have chosen the school, or you have applied to a number of schools. Okay, so even before they ask you why the school, they could ask you, how many schools have you applied to, or how many schools did you apply to during the application process? Now, anywhere between, I think, 5 to 8 schools is okay, because you don't want to look so desperate by having to apply to like so many schools. Then it looks like you desperately want to come to America. Then if you also have like just 2 schools or 1 school, it's not bad, but I mean, it's like, why did you target that particular school? Is there something about it? It can be, it has, it's a double-edged sword. It can be good or bad, okay? So that's about it. Now, if they ask you the number of schools that you've applied to, you should, be truthful. And in this whole process too, you really have to be very truthful. Now, when you speak your truth, it helps you to be very, very confident. When you know you are not lying, you are very confident. You are not all jittery. It helps you to be more confident, okay? So speak your truth. But this is more about packaging your truth. You need to package your truth very well so that it appeals very well to them. And then based on that, they can give you your visa. Okay, so let's go on. Why this school? And then the university that you applied to, that you have their I-20, there's a reason why you applied. Please, like I said in my previous video, this is not the time for you to be talking about they have good facilities, they have amenities, they have, like I said, every school has good facilities in America, okay? They make sure at least there's a standard level of facilities that a school can have. I'm sure they take them through some prerequisites and stuff like that before. Okay, so you can talk about the academic level of the school. For instance, my school was, when you talk about top 10 schools in social policy, my school in the United States of America, my school featured. So easily I can say that, I'm going to this school because I'm very interested in social policy. And when it comes to social policy in America, this school is part of the top 10. And so this is very high ranking. So that's number one. You could use a high ranking school. Then number two, another thing you could also do is you could use some professors who are in the school, or a particular professor. So based on whichever course that you have chosen, and then the professor's work, the kind of professor who is, doing the kind of course that you want to do. So I can also say, okay, so there's also this professor in the school, Professor Donald Shepard, and his work appeals so much to me. So I decided to go to this school so that he can mentor me, and then I could possibly work closely to him, because his work is directly in line with what I want to do in the future. So with some of these answers that I have given you for just this one question, you would know that it's not flimsy, it's not generic. Please don't give generic answers, don't give vague answers, okay? So then the next is, why this course? You know the course you chose, you know why you want to go and do the course. Don't give flimsy excuses. And I always say that even before you start the application process, you must make sure you know the reason why you're even selecting the course. So I always advise people to have a pool of courses, maybe like 2 or 3 courses that aligns directly with what they truly and what they really want to do. So when you're asked, why this course? You don't just... You are ready, because you know why you chose the course. You know why you have these 2-3 courses. You are ready. So I chose computer engineering because I have always, it's because I'm not in the computer world. It's a bit hard for me to find a reason, but you know your reason. So I will use mine as an example. So why did you choose global health policy and management? So as a doctor who was practicing in in Ghana, I noticed that I came to a stumbling block where I didn't have, equipment to work, and I knew that there was a defect in the health system, and so I went out of my way to be able to learn this course and come back and help to shape our health systems back in Ghana. Or I could also say that I'm doing global health policy because as a doctor, I give one-on-one care. And I believe it's about time that I extended my services to, health systems at large by helping to implement global health policies around the world or study the health systems during in the world at large. Now, these are very, very solid reasons. Then your consular officer will be like, you really have a plan for your life. So it's like a plan, and the plan starts even before you apply. That is why you have to follow the series that I am doing. So your application to admission series, that is why you need to follow it, because you don't just choose any course and start anyhow and then you just go on. Okay, so that's about that, the course that you want to do. So you have a plan, you have answered your course, and then off you go. Now the next is, what are some of the courses that you will study? Yes, so I have spoken to quite a number of people who have had visa interviews. I've had the privilege of sitting in class and meeting a lot of wonderful, wonderful international students. And I particularly chat with them about this visa process. So I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of questions that they've been asked. But disclaimer, I am no consular officer, okay? So I haven't worked with them before. I'm not a visa officer. I've never worked as a visa officer. This is from pure experience and one-on-one experience with so many people that I know. Okay, so what are some of the courses that you'll be studying? And that is when I'm going to tell you that you don't just apply and sit down. No, you're supposed to be on the website. Sometimes the interactions that you have with your school during the I-20 process and everything, now you know the course you're going to do. Everything is online. Okay, when you go to the school's website, go to academics, choose your course or choose your school, then you choose your course. You are going to see some of the sub courses that you are going to be reading. Okay, so you can talk to them about it. And let me give you one secret. They are not going to do the course with you. And they are as human as we are. They don't know all the courses in the world. They don't know everything in the world. Okay, so it's up to you to prove to them. So some of the courses that I'll be learning are econometrics, which then you just state one sentence, which involves using research methods to be able to, collect data and then, create results and something like that. Okay, just one sentence, which includes, then you add it to it. So what are some of the courses? They want to know if you are really interested in that course, if you are really going to do that course when you go there. So that is one of the tricks that you need to have. You need to have that at your fingertips as well. Now, they could also go ahead and ask you that, did you write GRE? Then you are going to say no. If you did not write it, just say no. Why? Because the school I was applying to did not require GRE, or GRE was waived for the school that I was applying to. Or you could say you had plans to write, but then when you looked at the schools, you noticed that GRE was waived for those schools, and as such, you decided not to write. It's also an answer. And so we don't want to be lying. You don't want to lie to a consular officer. Like I said, you just need to package your truth, okay? All right, so that's it about academics. If you have any other questions, you can drop them in the comment section below. So I have people who also gave me questions prior to this. So I'm going to also add it to it in the category of others. And I sent a video out a few minutes before this started. You know how this process is. Sometimes people don't want to let other people know that they are doing this, which is totally fine. Privacy is also very key in this process, because you'd want to make sure you are getting your things right before you go about blabbing to people that you have you are going to school in America or you're going to school in another country. So if you want to maintain that privacy, I'm going to open my, Instagram chat. Just go follow me on Instagram and drop your question there, and then we are going to answer it, okay? All right, so now let's move to finances. It's all about the money, okay? Now, I believe there's actually a very good reason why they are very keen on finances. Listen, if you come and then there's a point where you can't pay your school fees, especially let's say you've done the first semester, you are all clear, you are able to pay, and then you are somewhere in the middle of the semester and you don't have money to pay your school fees. That means that even the whole first semester you have done is gone, is wasted, okay? Now, you can imagine the kind of distress that you'll be in, even if you finish paying your school fees and you don't even have money to eat. Like, it's another financial distress altogether. So sometimes after you come here, you understand the reason why the consular officers do that and they require such information from people, okay? So that is the reason why the finances part is very important. Now we have those who are on fully funded scholarship. You could just go ahead and say that, oh, so I have a fully funded scholarship, which includes a monthly stipend of, then you're going to mention the amounts, okay? So that is it. If you have a fully funded scholarship, you're good to go, okay? So if it comes to the stipend, you're good to go. Then they know that even at that, you're either going to work as a graduate assistant, teaching assistant, or administrative assistant, okay? And then you're eligible to work for 20 hours a week. For those of you who don't know, yes, you're eligible to work 20 hours a week. So I'm saying hi to all of you. We have 15 people now. I really, really appreciate 15 for my first live. It's a really good number and I really appreciate you. So we are here and then we are talking about our questions and our possible answers. We're still waiting for our guest speaker. He's going to join us soon. It's not easy to find this time to be doing this in America. Like, everybody's very busy. So I really appreciate her. I really appreciate him. And subsequently, I'm going to be having different guests to talk about different things. So if you have anything that is related to the F1 visa process, any question you have related to the F1 visa process, even if it's not covered here, please don't forget to leave me a question. DM me on Instagram, follow me, DM me on Instagram, it's Dr_Mbro. And then my next live session, I'm definitely going to cover it. I'm going to also bring some other guests and then we are going to do this together. Now let's dive straight into the finances question. So we are done with the scholarship. The next is when you have a part scholarship, okay? Now, when you have a part scholarship, for me, this was my case. Everybody's case is different and everybody is unique. So this is my experience and this is my expertise. And that is what I also bring on board. Now, your consular officer could be like, the question could be like, how are you going to fund this? Or how do you intend to fund your education? Or they could be like, I see, this is how they asked my question. I see you have a part scholarship and that's very good. However, you still have an outstanding deficit. How do you intend to take care of it? Then you go for whoever is sponsoring you. Now, I think from Ghana, the uncles are getting so many. Uncle is getting so many. So what you can do is, yes, if it's your uncle, good. Don't just go say uncle. My uncle who is my mother's brother, or my uncle who is currently taking care of me or my family, or my uncle who is, establish a relationship and make them know right from the beginning why is your uncle that is taking care of you. Because being here for some time, I think August will be exactly 2 years that I have been here. I have noticed one cultural thing about Americans. They are not into the external, the extended family, okay? So it's just like someone, the wife and the kids, and then they are living together. If they have to have extended family things, they just meet together, they have one or two chit-chats, and then they go apart. It's not so bonded that somebody can go and take care of another person's nephew, niece. I don't know if you get me. Most of the time is maybe when they are passing on and they need to leave some inheritance, then maybe they can consider adding their nephews and their nieces. So I believe that's the reason why sometimes it's very hard for them to comprehend and understand the reason why your uncle is the one going to fund you. So then you need to establish a relationship why this distant relative of yours is willing to step in to take care of you. So sometimes it could be a distant relative who has been taking care of you, or it could be a distant relative who promised your dad to take care of your master's degree. Or I don't mean to remind any of you of your pain, but if your parents have passed away, or if any parent has passed away, you could also say that ever since that parent passed away, that uncle is the one who has been supporting your education. So with that, it gives them a click that, that person really is the one who has been taking care of you. But if you leave it vague and just go like, oh, and my uncle is the one who is going to take care of me. Why? Sometimes you don't also have to let them ask why. Like, you're confident, so you'll be able to say, oh, my uncle, who is my father's brother, promised to take care of my master's education if I excelled in my undergraduate education. So it's time, and then he's fulfilling his promise. It is one. So, or my uncle, who, owes my dad a very big favor, decided to pay back in terms of sponsoring my master's degree. You have a link there. So create a link, and then the reason why this relative of yours has decided to take care of you. Now, it could be your father, it could be your big brother. Those ones, they are really, 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 like it's directly in line with what they do. So they actually would understand that. Now, the next one is, okay, so I'm seeing some questions. Egbel, I've seen your question. Please, how should you answer if the person applied for just one school and got admitted and not more than one school? That is totally fine. It's your story. It's up to you to, justify it. Yes, I applied to Harvard University because since my childhood, I've always dreamed of getting into this school. So, you may make it look like it was Harvard or nothing, or it was Princeton or nothing, or let me boast about my school a little. It was Brandeis or nothing. So you can use that as well. Okay, so you can use that to tell them that yes, I applied to only this school because ever since because growing up and ever since I started reading this course, this school has always appealed to me. And then I was a diehard fan of this school. So it was this school or nothing. Okay. So I hope I've been able to answer your question. You can give me a thumbs up if I have. And then if you're satisfied with the answer, you could let me know. And okay, so we are going to come to Path Scholarship and Empower. We are going to come there, okay, as well. So fortunately, you are ahead of me. So we've done full scholarship, we've done Path Scholarship with deficits and family funds. Now we are going to do Path Scholarship with, deficits using loans to sponsor. Now, this is my personal opinion, okay? Let me sip water before I say this one, even if it may get me into trouble. Okay, so this is my advice to you. Now, even if you have Empower, let your Empower be your backup plan and still try to find a family member that can sponsor you. Still try to find a relative that can sponsor you with their bank account and stuff like that. Find somebody who can sponsor you. I believe the process is relatively easier when you have somebody who is willing to sponsor you. However, if you don't force it. Don't worry. You could there's still evidence of people who have come here. Not even with Path Scholarship and Empower, with just Empower loan. Okay. They went to the embassy with their Empower loan script and I'm telling you that this is how I'm going to fund it. Now this is the trick. Let me tell you. Not a trick per se, but it's going to come into our next category. But I would say it's the trick. This is the trick. Now, if you are going to use a partial scholarship and Empower loan, then you need to go with your loan approval and everything, and they ask you, how do you intend to fund your deficits? So you could say that you have obtained a loan that you are going to use to fund your education. However, taking the loan, I believe, is not their problem. Their problem is your intention of staying back to work to actually pay that loan. So that is where that should not be your intention. Please, with all that we are doing, I have told you, those who did not join early, F1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. You don't take this visa with the intention of coming to live in the United States of America. You take this loan with the intention of coming to school and going back to your country. I always add to impact because it's very important. Now, okay, so our guest speaker is here. So I'm going to take a minute and add him to the stage. Okay. Oh, hi, Joshua. We've been waiting for so long. Unfortunately, we started without you, but that's okay. I understand that America is a very tough place, so you have to juggle a lot of things. Yeah. Okay. So I have done academics. Right now I'm into finances. So when I'm done with the finances, we are going to, sort of like we go over everything. And then you could also give your perspective, okay? So where I am now, I'm at a point where people are asking about, when you have a deficit and then you have to use Empower loan to cover it. And this is my opinion. So when I'm done, I'm going to leave it to you, and then you could also give your opinion. So to me, I am saying that I don't think they have a problem with you taking a loan to go to school. Besides, America is run on credit and most of them have student loans anyway. However, because the F1 visa is a non-immigrant visa, their main concern is how to pay that loan when you are done with school. Your intention shouldn't be to take that loan and come here, take the loan, and then, stay back here very, very comfortable, and then work and pay it. When you go, work should not be in your mouth. Like the word work should just get out of your mouth. Your intention is to come to school. So you could say that, yes, my deficit is I've taken an Empower loan that I'm going to use to pay the deficits. And then this is going to be paid off. I'll be able to pay it off because when I come back, I have a promotion that is waiting for me at home that is going to make me a significant amount of money that can aid me in paying that loan. So your main story should be tied to how you are going to pay that loan when you come back. Okay, so Joshua, do you have anything to add when it comes to that?
Yeah, so what I want to say is that it's most that the advice students or graduates to start a business. So probably if you take an Empower loan and you have a business which is going to run, even if in your absence, let's say you are married, whether you are married or not, you probably have a personal assistant or you have workers who would take over your business when you are hot. You are away with your undergraduate or master's or graduate degree. So whilst you are away within the 2 years or 4 years PhD or 2 years master's program, you have a business that is running. And out of the 2 years, this is the amount of money probably you make a year. So within the 2 years, this is the amount you are raising to pay for your loan. And their visa officers are very, very particular about how you are going to pay back the loan. So if you are currently, let's say you are even volunteering or you're not working, how are you going to pay? That is why 90% of students who go to the visa interview with Empower loan are being denied. And the reason is very simple. They are not able to convince visa officers how they are going to repay back the loan. And that has been a reason why a lot of students have been denied visa when they go with Empower or any other
loan. Student loan.
Loan repayments is the trick. So if you're able to have a strong reason on how you are going to repay it, right? And probably when you travel, probably you're going to take a leave with pay. You take by 5,000 cedis, 10,000 cedis, which is a good salary. So if you're going to be paid travel or on a steady pay, that means within the 2 years, you're going to accumulate a good sum of money that is going to pay back the loan. But if you go there and you say you're volunteering doesn't really pay. So with that story alone, the visa officer, you can use that to deny you. And if you go there and you're telling the visa officer that you receive salary of this amount, there's a high chance of him asking for your pay slip or your bank statement to show that truly you are being paid 5,000, 10,000 cedis. So if you can't lie when it comes to these things, especially when you go with
Yeah, that's what I told them from the beginning, that you don't have to lie. You only have to package your truth. It's about how you package your truth. It's not about going to tell lies. We are not here to tell you to go and tell lies. You speak your truth, but you just need to know how to package your truth. And you have to be confident. I've noticed that most of us, especially the Ghanaians, some of us, we are very, very timid. We know that we are going to study. And you know the funny thing? Most Ghanaians actually come here and they really come to school. They really study. I mean, you have a few bad nuts who come and not go to school due to one reason or the other, but a high percentage really come to school. So you don't have to be timid, okay? You're coming to school. So that's about it, about the scholarship. So I hope we've been able to answer your question. I think that was Egbal. I'm showing Egbal's question now, which states that, yes, and also if person is just going with partial scholarship and Empower. I hope we've been able to answer your question. You can give a thumbs up if you are satisfied with the answers, and then you can keep your questions coming. So I'm going to complete the finances, and then we are going to go back to the academics because Joshua is here. So the other thing about the sponsorship is, so we've dealt with full scholarship, which you don't have a problem. You need to show your I-20, show the scholarship, any scholarship that you get, make sure your school will make it reflect on the I-20 so that you don't have to go in there doing math like Joshua. I think it happened to you.
Yeah.
He went to do calculations at the embassy, you know. So make sure if it's different scholarships, sometimes there are different scholarships from different departments. Maybe you're going to work here, they're going to give you the stipend, you're going to work here. Make sure they put it all together and put it on the I-20, okay? Now, we also covered the deficits. If you have part scholarship with loan, part scholarship with family funds, we've also covered all that. Make sure anything we are talking about, make sure you have a document to back it, okay? We are going to do a different one for documents so that we go through all the documents. We'll give you your document checklist. When we say it, then you tick. When we say it, then you tick. Then you'll be able to continue. Now, the next one is, so who will sponsor you? We've spoken about that. I've given you some examples of how you need to make sure the person is related to you and has a reason why the person is going to sponsor you. So, Joshua, how are you going to answer who will sponsor you?
Yeah, so when it comes to your sponsorship, your main sponsor should be your parents. I always say that your parents are the sole proprietorship or the sole responsibility to take care of you. That's why they plan and gave birth to you. So they are supposed
What if they did not plan?
they plan and they gave birth to you. So they are responsible for paying of your tuition fee. It's your parents' duty. But sometimes people go with uncle and other family relatives. It's not bad. But as you said earlier, you need to give reasons why such a person, either your parents, will be sponsoring you. So first of all, if your parents are sponsoring you, you need to show for financial proof as to how much they are earning annually and how much they are willing to use. You need to speak with numbers. My deficit is $20,000. My parents will be paying the full $20,000 because they receive $100,000 a year. So they'll be able to pay. So you need to speak with numbers because this is dealing with numbers. So you need to your tuition numbers and also if your sponsor is your uncle, an auntie, a brother or a sister or a stepfather or whatever, you need to give reasons why your parents are not doing it. Person is willing to do it because these officers know that everybody is taking care of their family. So why would a person take care of you? Probably during your high school or your university degree, such a person was able to help you out to pay your tuition. Probably your parents took care of him and he want to pay back that good deed and you're also willing to sponsor
exactly what I was saying. Exactly what I was saying.
How that person will be solely willing to do it because nobody will take care of somebody that's not their responsibility. Everybody is taking care of their own responsibility. So you need to show ties or prove ties why that person is willing to sponsor you.
Exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's it, guys. That's it. So don't just go and say, my uncle is taking care of me. Who is your uncle? I was telling them that in America, if you've been here for some time, you know that it's all about the nuclear family. Exactly. Mother, father, children. That's it. If they are going to meet together, it's going to be family reunion, holiday, July 4th, Independence Day, they have their gathering, they eat, everybody's gone back to their house. So that is what they know. It's not like us, wafa say, wafa, and all those things. No. All right. So another thing that I'm going to say, so what does your sponsor do? So they're going to ask you a question about what work your sponsor does. Because if you say that your mother or your father or your uncle or whoever you mentioned is going to sponsor you, and then the person, they're going to ask you what job does the person do. Now over here, I'll pass it on to you, Joshua, but I have noticed that in America, like there are some kind of businesses that people actually make money. And there are some businesses that people don't make money, even though they are trained to be in Ghana or Nigeria or wherever you are having your interview, even though they've been trained to be able to understand the terrain. They still don't understand it too well. For example, when I went for my interview, I heard a guy say that the uncle or whoever is going to sponsor them is a politician. In Africa, politicians have a lot of money. Exactly. But in America, they are not really supposed to have a lot of money like that, because everybody's eyes on their money is their paycheck, and then they need to account for everything that they make. So a politician in Ghana is going to have a lot of money, but a politician here may not have as much as you think, because he's an MP. MP will start. You are going to say he's a politician. So over here, I think you have to be also careful about the kind of professions that, you are going to give your uncle. Your uncle is this, your uncle is that. Look for things that, there's a job that is matching your bank statements that you are holding. Because sometimes it's very fishy, the kind of bank statements people take and the kind of jobs that they are also saying that the people are doing. So you need to know your sponsor's job. And if you don't know your sponsor's job, that's a red flag. For somebody who has decided to pay your school fees and you don't know what the person does, that's a big red flag. Even probably if I was the consulate, I'll not even consular officer, I'll not even give it to you. Okay, so that means that there's a fishy lie somewhere. Okay, so hi, Obo from Nigeria. It's okay, you are late. The recording will be on my page. You can go and watch from the beginning at any time. Welcome. I don't think I welcomed some people. Comfort Inform and Athlete Evolution. So you're all welcome. You're all welcome. Andrew, Ahen, Albert, Ahen, you're all very much welcome. Okay. So if you are here and you just say hi in the comment section and put your question there, and then we are going to answer it. Okay. So I'll get back to Joshua. So Joshua, what would you say? The next question we are on is, why is this person? No. The next question is, who is your sponsor? I skipped one question. I'm in a hurry. Who is your sponsor? So Joshua, what do you say about that? Who is your sponsor?
Yeah, so you need to let the visa officer know how you're related. So, my sponsor is my dad. And you tell the visa officer what kind of work your dad does or your uncle does. Or my uncle is into what? Exploitation of pineapple, cocoa. Let the visa officer know the kind of job your sponsor does and how much they make annually. My sponsor, my dad makes an annual income of $150,000. And my deficit is $20,000. And my uncle, my dad, who makes $100,000, is willing to sponsor me $20,000 a year because he earns $100,000 a year. That is his annual wage, annual salary. So you need to connect. And my dad has been taking care of me through primary school, to university, and he's willing. He believes in my dreams, and he believes in what my dreams that I share with him on how I want to become a doctor or a lawyer or a chemist, and he believes in that dream. That is why my dad or my uncle or my auntie believes in my dream, and he believes in me because undergraduate he sponsored me, and I was able to graduate with good grades. So this time, this same person believes in me, and he believes that my master's degree I am going to excel, and he's willing to pay my deficit of $15,000 a year. So that's how you're gonna connect it.
Yes. So that's a good way of packaging it and telling them how it's going to be. Most of the times we have the answers, we have the sponsors, we have everything, and we are just not able to connect the dots and connect everything. And that is why we are here. And if you want us to keep doing this, please, we can make all the time for you because we want you to come and join us. So just say we want more of this. We want more of this. And we're going to give you more. We're going to bring more people as well. And then we're going to do this as often as we can because this is visa season, F1 visa season, and it's hot, 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 hot. Okay. So the next is, why is this person sponsoring you? I think sometimes you also don't want to wait for them to say it. So I think we incorporated this answer earlier in our answers. Yeah, talking about linking why the person will want to sponsor you, right? So if you just joined and then you don't have that answer, when I'm done, this video is going to be on my YouTube channel. You can just go through it and then you'll be able to actually answer this. Okay. So the next question is, what does he do for a living and how much does he earn? So fortunately, Joshua has been able to cover that. He has put all that together. So did you see how he's been able to put everything together? You put everything together at once and they're not asking you so many questions. And so because of that, you use so less time for your interview. Your interview time is going to be so less, because who is sponsoring you, my uncle, who is a that, who that, you know. But sometimes too, you have to be very careful when you are doing that, because you don't want to come across as rehearsed. Sometimes too, that's the thing. So you don't want to, if they've not really asked you, you don't want to come across as you've rehearsed the whole thing and you're there, you're just rattling it to them. Okay, make it very interactive. If you were not here from the beginning, I told you, make eye contact with them, talk to them. You know, they are human beings like you. I know sometimes you are nervous, but sometimes you just even make it look like it's not like you even like America like that. You really want to just come to school and come back. You know, so you need to do that. That is how you're supposed to show it to them. Sometimes that is what you want to do, but you can't show it to them. Okay, so we are moving on to the next category. And I hope we've covered everything on finances. And so if there's any question on finances that we haven't answered or it's bugging you, you should let us know. Okay, now let's pause here and take some questions. I see a question here. I'm going to show it. I don't know if Joshua you could see, so we could answer it. It says that, forgive me if I'm looking down because I got to read. Please, what if I am going to study? I'm going to study relates to my, okay, so what I'm going to study. Okay, so please, what if what I am going to study relates to my current organization and they want to give me research fellowship or sponsorship? How do I explain to the VO? I believe this is a bit straightforward, unless, of course, I'm not understanding it. So you can correct me in the comment section if I understand this, like if I understood this wrongly. But it says that, please, what if what I am going to study relates to my current organization and they want to give me research fellowship or sponsorship? How do I explain? This is so easy. Like yours is even easier. So let's assume you work for an NGO that's called Bill and Melinda Gates, okay? And then they're giving you a fellowship to come and do something that is related to NGO management here. So you'll be like, oh, I currently work at Bill and Melinda Gates, and due to my excellent or efficient work ways, I have been able to win an opportunity, or I've been able to win a sponsorship from the company to pursue this master's degree or to do this course or to do that. I believe this is very straight and very straightforward. You don't have a problem, you don't even have a problem. So that's it. Adlet evolution. That is it. Okay. Now, okay, so who is next? Okay, so the same person, I'm going to show you a comment and we're going to talk about it. It says that, let's say I am going to study medicine and I'm a research assistant to any medical school and they want to sponsor or give me research fellowship. So I want you to be clear that you're a research assistant where in Ghana, or are you going to be a research assistant there? So it says, let's say I am going to study medicine and I am a research assistant to any medical school and they want to sponsor or give me a research fellowship. Guy, you don't have a problem when it comes to research fellowship, when it comes to sponsorship at where you are working now. That is a solid home tie, and that is what we are coming to get to. That's the next thing we are going to go to. It's a very solid home tie. It means that the people who are even going to sponsor you are not going to leave you to run away. You have to come back and come and use whatever it is that they are giving you. So Joshua, what do you have to say about any of these two questions?
As we said, I think he doesn't have any problem. Just go to your interview and let the visa officer know how much is worth your research fellowship or research assistant, and how it's covering what your cost of attendance. So even if it pays for your tuition, and I don't know if you have even stipend that you're going to be paid, that is even more than enough. Your fellowship has been able to cover your full tuition as well as what even money that you go
stipend
and even pay for your accommodation, feeding. So it becomes so easy for the visa officer to even interact with you. The visa officer will start smiling because it's good news. Because not everybody who is coming for the interview said great offer that you got. So the visa officer will start smiling with you, and definitely he or she is going to approve your visa because it's beautiful. Yeah. Because
exactly.
Are very competitive. So you if you've been awarded that fellowship, that means you are a great student. So sometimes you will not even end up even checking your transcript because they know that you apply with the transcript, and that's how come you're able to get that scholarship. So don't even waste time and even ask for transcript.
Yeah. And the funny thing, they didn't take any documents of mine. No documents. Like sometimes you can sell yourself in such a way that they don't even need proof. They
Exactly.
didn't even look at anything. Like, I mean, of course, the I-20, they will take it and everything. But when I spoke about, who's your sponsor, you say the job they do. Sometimes immediately you say the job they do, they have an idea of how much the people make. So they know that, oh yeah, they're going to take care of you. And another thing I forgot about the sponsor is they can ask you if your sponsor has children or if your sponsor has, family or stuff like that, if it's not your direct family member, because they want to make sure that your sponsor is not going to bail out on you when you go, especially if it's not your parents. Because there are some times where people promise to sponsor people and then they are not able to sponsor them because they have their own responsibilities. So sometimes they're going to go like, okay, so what does your sponsor do? That kind of thing. So does your sponsor have kids? I have a friend that he asked that question. How many kids does your sponsor have? And then she said it, and then she said, but they were all little, So they know that if they are very little, they don't need a lot of, money to take care of them as compared to if they are in school, they have to pay school tuition and stuff like that. So please take that in mind as well. Now, okay, Joshua, let's go to home ties. This one I'm going to make you start. And one of the questions is that what job are you doing? Immediately they ask for your job. It's two things. They are checking if you have a good job that you're going to come back to. Or sometimes it's a way to know like how much you were making and stuff like that. So Joshua, how do you answer that question?
Yeah, so mostly they will ask that, what do you do for a living? So sometimes they might not ask you what work do you do. They might put it in a different way. So that's some students will go to the interview. I remember a friend of mine went, and the questions we asked, the visa officer put it in a different form, and he was confused. He said a family, and that's where the visa officer knew that this guy is not ready for the interview. So what do you do for work, or what do you do for a living, or what kind of work do you do? It's the same question, but they put it in a different
ways.
So when they ask you, just let them know, oh, my name is, oh no, you're working at so and so, this institution or this company as, then you mention what the position there. Exactly. So as you mention your position, the next thing is what? To let the visitor know your duties, what you do at, or your responsibilities at that institution or that hospital or that company. You let them know, at least mention 3 or 4, 3 minimum, or 4 or 5 maximum. Then the visitor officer know that this person knows what they're about. You can even add how much you receive monthly, but it's not needed. It's on your DS 160, so you can not choose to add it. But if the visitor officer hasn't tell you to pause and you still want to further, then you can also go ahead and tell her how much you're receiving the monthly and how much you've also saved out of what the job you've been doing. So let them know, oh, I've been working with this company for 2 years or 3 years, and due to that, I've gained experience in this and that and that and that and that. So you need to explain, what do you do for a living? I work as a research assistant at this place, and you need to continue, keep talking, let the visa officer know you prepared
that you know what you're doing
for the visa interview, and that's the perfect answer.
Great. So welcome to those of you who just joined us. We have a couple of people who joined. Shout outs to Nana, shout out to Betsoya, Clint. So shout out to all of you. Okay. So I'm acknowledging you guys, because this is my first live and I'm so happy you are here. And I'm so happy, Joshua, you are here. Thank you for the support, for always supporting. Okay. So we are going to go to the next question on home ties. After that, I see some questions here. I'm going to answer your questions as well. And then I see you. Shout out to you, Masters in Public Health. Shout out. Come, yeah, in my field. So shout out to you. Okay. So, are you married? And how many children do you have? This is also a question for home ties. So, okay, I didn't add on to what you said. I think you just said everything, you just wrapped up. That's it. Just mention your job and then what you do, and then you keep it short. Okay, sometimes you have to keep it short because they have a lot of people they need to see. So say the most important things first, because they can just catch you. That's the only thing I'm going to add. Okay, so now, are you married, and how many children do you have, Joshua? Are you married? How many children do you have? Should people be looking into your DMs? Should people be coming into your DMs? Should they be coming? So are you married, and how many children do you have?
So mostly visa ask these questions to show home ties, as you said. So if you're married, definitely it's going to be on your DS 160. So whatever information you put on the DS 160, that is the same information you are going to what? Speak verbally. The same information on the DS-160, you're going to speak verbally. So on the DS-160, you put it there, you are single. Then if the visa officer married, you said no. And if I'm married, you say I'm married and my wife. Then you go ahead and explain what your wife does. Oh, I'm married to a beautiful wife who is what? A nursing assistant at what? Maybe Kwalebu Teaching Hospital. So you need to connect and the kind of job your wife does, because
so that's also a very good home ties thing, because your wife is a nurse, you're definitely going to come back or something. Yeah,
come back for your wife and the kind of job your wife is doing. And probably if you have a child too, they know that you have a wife and a child. There's no way, and you have a wife and a child, these are what your I don't know how to put it. They are something that is worth to you. Your wealth is your wife and your child, because you invest in them.
They mean a lot to you.
You marry the wife. So it becomes home ties. So that means whatever you come here in the US, there's no way you stay here forever. You come home for your wife and your child. So I think if you are married and you have kids, it's a great strong ties. But it doesn't mean that those who are single, you're not going to be approved. If you are single, let the visitor know you are single. So those single people, the way to show home ties is your job, the kind of work you do, and the position
and
you hold.
probably a fiancé, probably.
Yeah, you can say, oh, you're single, but you have a fiancé or somebody that you're in a serious relationship with, and you love to marry that person. So that person will be a home tie. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's about it. So like he said, you're married. You say yes, you're married to a beautiful woman who is da 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 da. And then how many children? The number of children. Now, because we are here, I will let us talk a little about those who also want to come with their family. So they will be, so people ask me, can you come with your family? Then I say yes. So when you're filling your DS-160, it will definitely be there if you want to bring them. And they'll even be on your I-20, because so they'll be your dependents. And then once you are on an F1 visa, they will be on an F2 visa. F2 is a dependent visa for F1. So your wife and your kids, they are all going to be on F2 visas. So maybe we can do a different session for that. I'm going to try to see if I can find some resource personnel. I know a couple of people who brought their family here. I think there'll be rich personnel to be able to talk to. Sometimes I like to bring people who have actually done it. It makes the experience more, it makes it, lively, and it gives a richer experience. Okay. So do you have a business is also another question. So a job, business, what have you? And then I think Joshua spoke about the business when it came to the money and the loan. So would you want to add anything? Because a business too is a very good thing. And if you don't have a business, don't say you have a business, because everything you tell consular officers, you need documents to prove it. If you go and lie, you're going to be asked to produce your business registration, your tax returns, and what have you. And you don't want to find yourself in that position. That is the first thing I'll say, and I'll throw it over to Joshua.
Yeah, I think when you mention about what you do for a living, it's not everybody who is working for a company or working
a job.
Their own business. So I think we did not chip in that one. So let me chip in that one. So if you, as we said earlier, if you're working, let the visa officer know the kind of work you do. And if you register the company, your business registration, you need to go with it. And also taxes that you pay, any document that proves that you are the owner of that company, you need to go to the interview with it, because visa officer, though you need to be very confident about what you're saying, but sometimes visa officer has the right to ask you documents to prove what you're saying. So if you are going there I remember one guy had a poultry farm and other businesses, and he even had a deficit of like $38,000. It was a huge deficit. And this guy was able to show bank statements, pay slips, his savings account and personal account. These are very important, because if you have a business, you need to go there with a business account, your personal savings account. These are very two key things, aside the business.
And sometimes the business registration.
Yes. So the guy went with everything. He's married and have kids as well. Though his deficit was huge, 38,000 is huge, but he was able to show his bank statement and the money that's out coming into his account. And the visa officer approved him. Though the money was not too huge, but he knew he's a responsible person and he's doing it for himself and the family. So even if he's away, he will be able to pay for the tuition.
Sustain his family, yeah.
And also sustain his family.
And that's that thing about the family too. Another reason why I do ask you about the money is they want to be able to make sure you can sustain your family too when you are away. So when you are away, you not leave them stranded. That's also another thing. So what you said too was very, very right. Okay. So Eunice, I see your question. We are going to answer you very soon. Okay. What if you are engaged? Yeah, we said that you could also engage this like the same as having a fiancé. So you could say that, oh, you are engaged to be married or you have a fiancé. So those are also ways that you can prove your home ties as well. So another big question when it comes to home ties that they can ask you is that what are your plans after school? And this plan that you are telling them should not include anything that you are going to be coming to do in the United States. Like, I want to finish and get a job in the US and, When you finish school, you are automatically given 1 year OPT. It's called optional practical training. It's like an on-the-job training. If it's that job you are referring to, that is not a job. That's not working. That is not working. So, for instance, currently I am on optional practical training. I am on OPT. So, even though I'm working, it's not like I'm working. I'm still in school. I'm still on an F1 visa. So, I am under training after the course that I have done. So it's called optional practical training, but you don't say that at all. So what are some of the things that we can say? So Joshua, you can start and then I'll add on when you're done.
Yeah, so when visa officer asks you your plans after school, you need to go straight to what the kind of job you do and the position, as you said, the position you hold at what the company or that institution that you're working with. And you need to also let the visa officer know that you've worked with them for, let's say, 4 or 5 years and you are due for. So because you are due for promotion, you like to study in the US to gain in-depth or to have an in-depth knowledge and skill to that specialty, which is that position. So let's say you are a research assistant. So once you return, you are going to be hold a supervisor or a senior research assistant, because you left with a research assistant, but you come home to become a senior research assistant, because right now you have your master's degree, and out of the 2 years master's degree, you've been able to get an in-depth knowledge and skill. So because of that skill, they are going to promote you. So when this officer listening to this information, they'll be like, wow, this guy has a good reason to come back home, because there's a promotion for him. And everybody promotion will come to a greater pay or a greater
salary.
Yeah. So you need to connect your story to that extent. Or probably once you are done with school, you like to take the position of a senior lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, or probably Legon, University of Ghana, or any polytechnic. You want to take a position as a lecturer. And also, if your parents have business that they are doing, they are going to sponsor you. After my school, I would like to join my father's business or my uncle's who is sponsoring me. So you see, because your uncle is sponsoring you and your uncle is doing exportation or into real estate, you like to use that knowledge to come and help your uncle or your dad on that specialty. Oh, probably I am going to be his accountant for maybe you're going to do your master's in accounting. So you want to return. You like to take a position of senior accountant at your uncle or daddy's real estate business to build help in such a manner. Because if somebody is investing in you, you need to also come back and invest
in the person.
Yes. So if you're able to build such a
story, the person needs to get value.
This guy is a smart guy, and I know this guy will come back home. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. So that's one of the things. And then another thing that they also really like that I know that you could also come back and do is to set up a consultancy. You can talk about how you'd come back and use the knowledge to set up a consultancy, and people are going to consult you in that field to also get knowledge for it. So it's all about the dreams. So you could say you want to come back and then work your way up into the, Ministry of Health, Ministry of this, and to be able to have, so whatever plan that it is that you have to come back, you have to tie it to what you're studying to. It's very important. You can't say that you're going to do computer engineering and then you come back and you say, when you come back, you want to be like a doctor or something. I don't know, like something that doesn't make sense, So you have to make it also directly in line. So maybe, computer stuff, you're going to learn computer engineering and all that, or computer software design, so that you come back and you design some softwares to solve a particular problem that was the reason why you actually chose that course. So that is something like that you could also do. So those are some of the what are your plans, and I'm going to answer your questions. Eunice, I see your questions. Welcome, Rodel and Dan. So if you are here and you haven't said anything in the chat, you could just put a heart. You could say hi. So I see you are here now. I will acknowledge you. So that's about it. So the next category is the others. If there's anything on Home Ties that we have left out, or you think that they've asked, or you've heard them ask before, these are very common questions. But sometimes unique questions also come up depending on your situation or what you present. What is in front of them or what you tell them can draw more questions. That is why you need to be precise, concise, and just go straight to the point and not beat about the bush. Okay, what you say can draw, extra questions, unwanted questions from them as well. Okay, so the others, I think we addressed this in our previous video that asked about, do you have any siblings in the United States? Guys, if you have not watched it, if you are really going to take get a visa and you've not watched it, not just visa right now, like if you have steady abroad plans, this is the time for you to be watching these things to prepare yourself. The more you know the kind of questions that they ask, the more you know how to even put your application and choose your courses and stuff like that. Sometimes you need to plan from the end, knowing from the end. We did not know from the end, but now you guys know from the end, so you can be able to effectively plan. Okay, so do you have any siblings in the United States of America? I think sometimes this is also more like a sort of Home Ties question, because if you have people here that they know that you can come to and you never, and sometimes they ask, what do you have any siblings and what are their status? Okay, so Joshua, over to you. I know that's your specialty.
Yeah, let me give a practical example. There's this auntie of mine here in the US, and her younger sister was preparing for the visa interview, and I spoke to her. I was trying to coach her, but this lady kept on arguing with me. I've been on this thing for like 4 or 5 years. I've helped students, and we know the things visa officers likes and what they don't like. Their sponsor is here in the US. My sister, my auntie is here in Connecticut, which is Bridgeport, and the uncle is also here. And the uncle gave her the bank statement, and I said, if the uncle gave you bank statement for the I-20, there's no problem. But if you go with that statement to the visa, and you're going to the University of Bridgeport, your uncle is in Bridgeport, your sister is in Bridgeport, and you are going to the University of Bridgeport. She was arguing.
It just sounds like you're not coming back. Like you're going to live with them and enjoy your life. And if that was the case, then why didn't they file for you?
Exactly.
That is the question.
So I spoke to
this. They needed you there. That's bad. Why didn't they file for you?
So she was arguing with me. I said, fine. That's why in our previous video, I said that if your relatives had a good intention for you, they would have filed for you. But since they did not,
that's very harsh. That's very harsh.
It's true, because I know most of you guys have spoken to your relatives here in the US that they should file. So if you're going to the visa interview, you are the one who hustled, did your application, pay your application fee. They have no business in this application. So when visa officer asks you, do you have siblings? You don't know anybody. If you knew anybody, they would have helped you.
They would have come to file for you. Yeah.
They did not. Yeah. That means you are alone. So I don't know anybody. Even if you know somebody, is between you and your God. You don't know anybody. So that the visa officer will know that you are coming here with genuine intentions. And once you are done with your studies, you come home. You understand?
Yeah. And sometimes if you know distant relatives, you could say, oh, I have a distant uncle if the person is in another state, I barely hear from, we hardly ever communicate. Or you just heard from the person when you were very young, and then that's it. You've not even heard from the person again. So that's also one thing. Like I said, we are helping you to package your truth and not to lie. Don't lie to a consular officer. So at this juncture, we're going to take some of the questions here. So we see, I see new people here in the chat. Hi, Rosalind. Eunice, we are going to answer your questions. Let's go on. So let me mount this question. So it says, please, what's your take on your sponsor, into bracket dad? So when they say, has your dad sponsored anyone before? Assuming I'm the only child of my parents. So Eunice, if I'm understanding you very well, you're trying to say you're the only child of or the person we are referring to is the only child of their parents, and then they're asking if their dad has sponsored anyone before. So if your dad has sponsored anyone before, yes, your dad has sponsored somebody before. There's no need to lie. I told you, you don't lie to them. You package your truth very well. So your dad has sponsored someone before, yes, and that was in the past. And so now it's your turn, because you are your dad's first priority and responsibility. So even if your dad is sponsoring somebody, then it doesn't mean that your dad cannot sponsor you. Now, I think she sent a follow-up question to say that some officers may need proof that he has sponsored someone before. So what I would say is that even when you're sponsoring somebody, I don't know what they type. I know they type a lot, but I don't think they type the name of the person who is going to sponsor you. The most important thing is that they see the bank statement to know that really the person has that amount of money that you stated. The bank statement is legit. And if the person, has the financial capability to actually really sponsor you. So I believe that is it for those two questions. And Joshua, if you have anything to add, you could add, and then we could move.
Yes, so with that question, as you said, the visa officers, they type a lot. And the name of your sponsor will be on the DS-160. So for them, I know that computer they are sitting in front, there's a search engine there. So if somebody already putting that name of your sponsor on the DS-160.
Yeah, their software.
Because it's on your DS, they can just search and see if that name is going to pop up twice on a different DS-160. So if you lie that your sponsor has never sponsored anybody, but when they say the name, as you are speaking, they'll be typing, they'll be searching for that name. It's on your DS. I'm looking through your DS-160. They can search the name. So when they search it, that means your sponsor has already sponsored. That means you lied. So the visa
lied.
Tell you why they were denying you, but it can be that you lied. So
and everything you would have said before that, they'll think it was also a lie.
So you need to speak your sponsor, whether they have sponsored somebody before or not. Well, remember the statement I used, my sponsor told me point blank that he has sponsored several students. So, but for me, because I got a tuition waiver, the visa officer did not even ask me for my statement or nothing. So there was no chance for me to explain myself because I got a tuition waiver. That's why I tell get scholarship. When you get scholarship, other questions will not be asked.
Will not pop up. Yeah.
Funded scholarship, you don't need to go without any bank statement because they know the school is going to pay for everything. So when it comes to...
But the scholarship too, people don't want to write GRE. They don't know that GRE comes with a higher chance of getting scholarships. I keep telling people, they keep running away. Like, it's hard, but it's doable. I don't even use hard in my dictionary again. It's challenging, but it's doable. And imagine spending maybe 2 months of your time to write an exam to get a tuition that is worth $40,000 that you would not even have gotten. Control exams, they amount $40,000 not for school. Just sorry to my Nigerians. I mean, just go and write an exam and then get $40,000 and then go to school. You can, if you take it the first time and God forbid you don't pass, you can take it again because now you know the structure and everything of the exam and you excel the second time. Joshua, they should go and watch the interview that you and I had and you should know your story. Joshua wrote it twice, right? You wrote the GRE twice.
For me, I wrote it once though. I wanted to write it. I was able to get a fully funded tuition waiver. I don't know, because I was planning that if I don't get a tuition waiver or a good scholarship, I was planning to write the second time. I even have the video. Sometimes I say because GRE, especially the mathematics, it's practical life. Yeah, so if you learn it's mathematics, it's gonna open your brains, and the English you're gonna meet in real life. If you whatever program you are studying, you're going to meet.
You use it.
In your
you
books,
use it.
Knows you're going to find them in. So it will build you yourself. It's going to be self-development for what? Graduate or undergraduate. Yeah, so write the SATs or the GRE exams, and it's going to help you gain scholarship. Because those you're going to compete with, they have written what? The SAT and the GRE. So imagine you grades and you're also not writing it. I didn't have good grade. I wrote it and it helped me. So guys, try and write the exams. It's not a rush to study in the US. Make money. And the GRE is like, I think, $250 or $250. Make money, convert into dollars, and write exams. Prepare yourself enough. And I'm ready.
Scholarship. Yeah, that's one thing that I could have written it and got it. But I was like, I just needed to leave because it's like to do my master's because I faced like a stumbling block. So I'm like, I was just very frustrated at work and I faced a stumbling block. Like I was not doing what I wanted to do at work. So I was like, I'm getting out of here to do my master's degree because they are wasting my time as a young lady. They were wasting my time in the clinic and my skills. Okay, so the next question is from Clint. It says that please, if you are working in a company and they give you introductory letter, can you use it as a home tie? I believe you can, because that's your job. Like, so, and what do you mean by introductory letter from the company? And this is going to be a supplementary documents. When we talk about the documents, like an additional add-on document. So that is when they don't believe that you're actually really working at the company. So it's a good thing to have. But even with this introductory letter, sometimes your pay slip is enough to show that you're really working there. A pay slip is stronger than an introductory letter. Anybody can get the company's letterhead and put a letter on it and say you work there. So a pay slip is usually stronger to show the company that you are working on. So before you're going and you want to show it, it's good to print your pay slip. Okay. Now, Joshua, do you have anything to add to that, please?
Yeah, I think the introductory letter is not bad. You can also go with the pay slip, as the doctor said, and your employment letter. All these are proof that you work with the company. Yeah, and maybe of late they don't even have time to go through those documents.
They don't have time. Oh, that's the thing. That is why what you are going to say is what is going to sell you. I know somebody who went yesterday to the, like, I was talking to the person, I kept coaching the person over and over and over again. And the person, they didn't even ask anything. They don't have time. Once you show them these three things, the academics, the finances, the home ties, you are good. Unless you say something and they doubt. And another thing I've noticed is that a few people that I know, when they use the American bank statement, they took it from them. And they give it to them when they were giving them back their passport. So the thing is that when it comes to the American things, they can verify it because America is very centralized and the data is very collected. That is what I was presuming, that they really want to go and check if that American bank statement is very legit. Mm-hmm. So you should use legit documents. You don't want to be banned from applying, or you don't want it to ever go on your record that you have gone there with a very bad, a fake bank statement and stuff like that. Yeah. So the next question here is that, and secondly, is it okay to send his company statement if lots of funds run through it more than his personal account or bank statement? So yeah, you can take his company bank statement and say that he's going to sponsor. If he's the CEO, he's the one who owns the company, you can take the company bank statement and you can also take his personal statement as well. You're even fortunate to get access to the company's bank statement. So if it's the company's bank statement, if you are working there and you have the company's bank statement, then it's easier to make it, to say that it's the company that is sponsoring you. And then you add a letter, like a letter that is showing that the company is sponsoring you. If it's your dad too, you can show his personal bank statements with his savings and you can show his company statements. And the company statement is going to state that it shows that this is how much my daddy's company makes every month. So there's no way my daddy is not going to be able to take care of me. So you can take both and then you can take it as well. Joshua, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, with this issue, a lot of students are making mistakes concerning your sponsor statement. So if your sponsor has a big business and they're running, you go with the business account and you also go with his personal or savings account. You cannot do one and leave the other.
Yes.
I've seen situations where students have asked me that they have only the company statement. They are going because the sponsor doesn't have a personal. You see, probably we in Africa, we mix things together. But here in the US, there's no way a business or a company owner or CEO will mix his business and personal savings account. It's something separate because the monies in your business account is the monies that are used to run the company. They are used to pay workers. They are used to buy new products and restock stuff. They are used to import. They are used to export. So that is the money used for that. And this officer know that money has a purpose. It's used to run the company. No business owner or CEO will use that money to pay for your tuition. That is why if you go with that, you still need to add their personal, because the profit that is made from that company is being transferred to their savings or personal account. So that is what is very, very important. So if you're not going with the person, you can either go with the personal and even leave the company. But you show that you are serious about the sponsor. That's why you are proving the company state as well as his. So the both of them, if you're not getting the
It makes it stronger.
Yourself. Yeah, don't
Yeah,
worry.
and it could be that some accountant of a company got a company bank statement and gave it to you. So to show that it's actually the person, when you back it, like it's much easier. Okay, so we'll be wrapping up soon. I'm going to take a few more questions. And so, okay, so Eunice is saying that, yeah, he hasn't sponsored anyone before. You'll be the first. You are damn lucky, Eunice. We are wishing you the very best. All those who are here, if you are going to apply, we are wishing you the very best. You can follow up with questions in the chat. This will be posted on our pages, and so you can follow up. So it says here that, is it possible to pass the visa interview and get your visa to the US with a partial scholarship? Hey, I'm here. I am here. This is me. I didn't get a full scholarship. If you don't know me, my name is Dr. Richlave Mbroh, and you can watch my videos, my F1 visa videos. I did not have full scholarship. I had partial scholarship. It was a merit-based scholarship that was given to me based on my GPA. I didn't write GRE. I didn't write SAT. I didn't write anything, but I was given a merit-based scholarship based on my GPA. So, and then the rest was family funds. And I am here. I am done with my master's degree, and I'm currently on my OPT, which is my optional practical training. That is the time that they give you to work as a student, as a practical training, so that you are trained based on the degree that you had. Okay, so that is very possible. Johanna, thank you for coming, and thank you for asking this question. A 50% scholarship. Yes, Johanna, it's possible. Just make sure you have a bank statement that is solid enough to be able to cover your deficit, and you will be good to go. And no way should you go and say that you are going to work and get money to cover your deficit. No. If you were not here from the beginning, an F1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. It's not a visa that's supposed to make you work or stay here. However, as a student, you are given 20 hours of work time on campus to be able to do. So at this juncture, there's this very last question, tricky question that I would like us to address. Then we'll wrap up. So I had somebody come to my DM to ask me that some people are saying that once you've ever applied for a DV lottery, that means that you can't get an F1 visa. Initially, it sounded like it's like a runaway trigger, because once you've applied before, then it looks like you're not going to come back. But apparently, I have evidence of people who have applied 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and yet they still went for F1 visa, and they gave it to them. So I think it's more about how you package yourself and what you want to say. Yes, maybe at that time you were trying to see if you could go, but now, no, you are very established and then you want to just go to school and come back. So everything changes, every situation changes. Nothing is static in life. So that's the answer I have for that. Joshua, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong if you apply for lottery. You can also apply for your student or tourist visa. Because there was one situation that came across where one student was asked if he applied and he lied and he was denied. So people are just concluding that because he said
saying things all about
he did not apply, he has never applied. They checked their records or their system and they found out that no, because the visa officer never came out and told vivid reason why he was denied. Probably he did not have even a good scholarship. It might be, or you could not even convince the visa officer how he was going to pay for your deficit. And I think it was a fully funded scholarship. So they are based on the fact that because it's fully funded and they asked him if he has applied for lottery and he lied. So they are saying that because of that. No, I can say that 99% of students applying for F1 visa in various countries also apply for the American lottery. But they were approved, especially those who are approved, they all approved. So if you apply, let them know, just tell them the truth. You always
be truthful. That's what I said. Always be willing to tell the truth. Yeah. Go out there, tell your truth. That is why right from the beginning of the application, you need to have a good story and a good lineup so that when you don't have to be lying when you go to the consular office. It's not good. Don't lie. Okay. Please don't lie as much as possible. Package your truth. That is it. But
That's-
package it very, very well. So I think that's about it. And so for me, I have some last words. But before that, I'm going to let Joshua give your last words. And so, Joshua, what are your last words?
Yes. So I will advise that whatever be your situation, you will be able to, whether it's a 10% scholarship, 20%, 30%. That is what you got after your application. So don't give up. Don't say that somebody got 50, he was denied. So I got 10% scholarship, I will also be no. This is why most people go there without being confident. Everybody has their own. All these fingers are not the same. Somebody got fully funded and was that doesn't mean that you got partial score, you're going to be denied. No. Everyone has their own destiny. Everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own program. Everyone has their own job. So it's different stories altogether. Be confident about what you got and build your story. Join mock interview and get a good story and be very confident. And how are you going to get your confidence or your boldness level? You need to join mock interview. And I've created I'm going to be coming live every day to train students for free on how you're going to build your story. So check on my channel, JC Consult. And so,
Yeah, we are all going to be there to assist the process.
Yeah, so anytime you subscribe and I come live, you're going to be notified and join us. Just join us. I can come live anytime, but I was planning 7 p.m., but sometimes I might be busy. I cannot make it to 7 p.m. Anytime I'm free, I'll come live. Even if 2 students who come live, you train them.
Yeah, willing, you train them, and then they get it. Yeah.
Join mock interview. Not only my interview, if you have friends who are also going, call yourselves, ask yourself every day. That's what I was doing. I had a friend, we call ourselves in the morning, evening, we question ourselves every day. And both of us, we are approved. So the interview should be part and parcel of you. When you wake up in the morning, stand in front of a mirror, ask yourself these same questions.
Joshua, why are you stealing my last words?
All right.
If you leave Joshua, he will steal all your words. So, Joshua, I don't like that. So, my last words were to practice, 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 practice. If you have somebody, you can practice with the person. If you don't have anybody, you have your mirror. And that was my last words. Joshua, why are you like that? So, that was my last words, practice. And then it's okay not to tell people that you are doing this process, okay? It's okay. And that's it. Some people feel bad that they have to tell. You don't have to tell everybody. This process, there's a lot that is involved in it. You don't want to go about jabbering and telling everybody. Take your time, go through the process, get your visa, then you can tell people, Charlie, I've got it. I'm going to school. That's another thing too. And then the last other thing I wanted to talk about is that whatever you believe in, God, Allah, a totem, a God, traditionalist, whatever you believe in, pray or commit yourself to whatever you believe in and pray, because sometimes you never know. You may meet a consular officer who is in a very bad mood and decides to just, no matter what you say, deny or whatever it is. So commit yourself to whichever spiritual being that you believe in, and then practice. You've come all this way. You've done your application, you've got your I-20, you've done all this way. Please don't let the visa be the time where you would be denied and you'll not go to school. Like I said, as of 2023, 5,067 F1 visas were issued in 2023 alone. And that is a 52.1% increase. And as of now, Ghana is the fastest growing student population. Okay, so don't be left out, basically. Don't give them a reason to leave you out. And God forbid, if you are denied, that's not the end. You can always reapply. Okay, I know somebody that I met, and that was his 8th time, and he got it. So please, don't also give up. God forbid that you're denied, or if it happens you're denied, don't also give up. Okay, so that's about it. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your time. It's been wonderful. You can give me feedback. Let me check the comments if there's anything I'm missing. Yes, okay. So we've actually covered everything. Thank you so much for coming. I have been your host, Dr. Richlove, and my guest was Joshua Enchi Boisiakon. Joshua is always there. When I call Joshua is always there. So Joshua, thank you so much. We are so passionate about this, and then we don't want people to go through what we went through before we came. We wish we had this, and that is the reason why we are passionate and we do this with you guys. So thank you so much for coming. Bye.
Bye-bye.